Today, I'll be telling all of you guys the fastest way to become an airline pilot. I started my aviation journey back in 2019 and I got hired as a regional airline pilot in 2023. So in total, that took me 4 years. But keep in mind, COVID was thrown into the mix and it screwed things over and it delayed my time around roughly a year. And be sure to watch the very end of this video as I'll be sharing some tips and advices that I wish I knew during my aviation journey. And here's a quick disclaimer for anyone that's watching, hoping to find a shortcut of becoming an airline pilot. I'm sad to tell you, there are no shortcuts to becoming an airline pilot. And airlines will not hire people that take shortcuts. Becoming an airline pilot takes a lot of hard work, a lot of time, and dedication. There are no skipping these 3 things. It just takes a lot of hard work, and if you guys really put your mind to it, I believe in all of you guys will become an airline pilot if you want it bad enough. Before we dive into this video, if you guys aren't subscribed, I'd really appreciate it if you guys went down, smash the subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up. It's gonna help me out a ton, and I would really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's dive into the video. If becoming an airline pilot is our end goal, all we have to do is see the requirements it takes to become an airline pilot and reverse engineer our way. So to become an airline pilot, there are a few requirements, such as getting 1,500 hours, holding a first class medical, and get all your licenses. Those are the main 3 requirements. There are a few others, but these are the main 3s we'll be talking about. If you have no prior aviation background whatsoever and our end goal is to become an airline pilot, before you even start your training, the first thing I would do is go get a first class medical. You need the first class medical in order to become an airline pilot. However, if you're not healthy enough or you disqualify from getting a first class medical, then you'll know right then and there that you can't be an airline pilot. But I would highly suggest all of you guys, before you even start training, get that first class medical. You guys might be wondering where to get a first class medical. You can go on Google, or I know there's a website on the FAA. You type in your zip code and there's a list of places where you can apply for your first class medical. Give that hospital or that clinic a call and tell them that you want to schedule a first class medical. Once you've got your first class medical, enroll yourself in an accelerated pilot training program. There are many accelerated programs out there, such as ATP, that is a very well-known one, and they are all over the country. American Airlines Cadet Program, that's the one I did, and that was also very accelerated, fast-paced program. There's the Delta Propel program, and pretty much every airline has their own accelerated course. However, if you just go on Google and search accelerated pilot training program, a whole list of them will come up, and enroll yourself in one of these. Keep in mind, these programs might have a wait time. It might take 3 or 4 months for you to actually get enrolled. But when you're waiting to get enrolled in this fast track course pilot training, use this time wisely. Start finding a flight school near you and start training, becoming a pilot. Start learning how to fly. And if you could get your private pilot license before you get into the accelerated program, that would be ideal. A lot of these accelerated programs would take you even though you already have your private pilot's license. So it'd be great to use that time wisely while you're waiting to already start your pilot training. And once you get to the accelerated program, you can just continue where you left off. However, if you start training and don't finish, and it's your time to go to that accelerated program, that's fine as well. You already have that previous knowledge. You already know a little bit how to fly the plane. You'll be way ahead of everyone else that is just starting to join you. So use that time wisely while you're waiting and start flying before you get enrolled into that accelerated flight training program. I do also want to let you guys know that a lot of these accelerated training programs are very expensive. They can cost anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000, which is a ton of money. But after all that training, you do get all your licenses. You should come out with your private pilot license, instrument rating, commercial license, your CFI, II, and your multi-engine. That is 6 different licenses. But yes, $100,000 is a lot of money. A lot of these programs do partner with banks where you are able to take out a loan. And I know not everyone can take out a loan and dedicate themselves every day to go to flight training. Not everyone can dedicate themselves to flight training, be a full-time student in these accelerated programs. But this video is telling you guys the fastest way to become an airline pilot. I understand some of you guys might have to work part-time jobs, can only fly 2 to 3 times a week, And for me, previously, having gone to an accelerated program such as the American Airline Cadet Academy program, I would really recommend it. You really dedicate yourself and you are flying constantly, surrounded people who have the same goal of becoming an airline pilot. And if you guys have any other questions about the American Airlines Cadet Academy program, I've previously made a lot of videos regarding to the American Airlines Cadet Academy program, and I've vlogged my journey throughout. So you guys can go ahead, check that out there. I'll be sure to link some videos up there that you can click on and watch that. After you've gone through the accelerated training program, you've gotten all 6 of your license, you should come out with 250 hours to 300 hours. So we're still short on a few hours in order to go to the airline, as that is our end goal, right? If you've come out with a CFI and a CFII, I would highly recommend getting a flight instructing job. Try to apply and work as an instructor at the flight school you previously trained at. They already know how you work, and if you're hardworking and a really good student, they would of course want to hire you, just because flight schools are always losing flight instructors to the airlines. So they're always in need of good instructors. The key word there is they're in need of good instructors. So when you're training, be sure to show them the best of you. Make sure to show them that you are hardworking, that you are dedicated. So when you finish your training, they will hire you. When you first start flight instructing, you're probably only gonna get 4 or 5 students, and you're not gonna get a lot of hours. That's fine. Don't give up. For me, when I was instructing, I had 2 flight jobs. So if you do have enough time, I would recommend you trying to find another flight school to instruct at. Or another thing that you can do is join a flight club so you can rent planes and gain hours that way. A good way for you to time build and try to keep the cost low is finding another instructor or finding someone else that needs to build time. Rent the plane together so you can split the cost and fly as much as you can. But for me personally, I never did that. I only instructed because at that point I didn't want to pay to get hours. I had 2 flight instructing jobs and I was averaging between 6 to 8 hours a day. Monthly, I would be flying anywhere from 80 to 100 hours, which is a lot. So if you're flying anywhere from 80, 90 hours a month and you finish your training with 250 to 300 hours, it's probably gonna take you anywhere from 13 to 14 months if you really grind. And this is where I see a lot of people slow down. Once they get their instructor license and they become instructor, they're just chilling, they're cruising. They don't have that end goal in mind. And keep in mind, this journey is a long time. It took me 4 years. Of course, during those 4 years, I was exhausted. I wanna take a break. That's totally fine. Take a week break, take a 2 weeks break, but always come back to your end goal. Don't lose sight of your end goal. I see so many instructors who are just taking their time on building that 1,500 hours. But to get to the airlines, it's all about seniority. So you wanna get there as soon as possible. So when you guys become an instructor, don't relax. Keep that end goal in mind, focus on it, and run towards it. Fly as much as you can. When you get to around 1,000 hours, that's when you should already be applying to different airlines, trying to get an interview, so that when you hit your 1,500 hours, you already have a class date and you directly transition to airline training. A lot of people I see nowadays start applying at 1,400 hours, but their airlines have a long wait time. There's around 5 to 6 months of a wait time for a class date. So if you once you get to your 1,500 hours and then you apply then, you still have to wait another 5 or 6 months just to your airline class date. But if you apply at 1,000 hours and then you have 5-6 months wait, that's fine. Because once you get to your 1,500 hours, that class date will be waiting for you. You can transition smoothly and not have to wait that long. That's how simple it is to become an airline pilot. I know some of you guys watching right now are like, obviously, duh, I knew that. But other people watching have no clue, no idea what it takes to become an airline pilot. And once I break it down into these small chunks, it's a lot more manageable and it's a lot doable. If you look at from no previous experience to become an airline pilot, it looks like a huge and daunting task and that might take forever. You break it down into small chunks, like first getting your first class medical, that'll take you probably a week, and then enrolling yourself in an accelerated flight training program, finishing all your training, getting all your ratings, that should take you anywhere from 1 year to a year and a half if you really dedicate and focus on your training. After a year and a half, you should come out with 250 hours, try to get a flight instructing job. If you can, try getting 2 instructing jobs, or 1 instructing job and another one where you're flying at the club trying to build hours, and that will take you another 13 to 14 months. So in total, that should take you around 3 to 3.5 years. If you think about it, 3.5 years is less time than a 4-year college. You can go from no previous experience to an airline pilot in less time of finishing a college degree. And to me, that is pretty mind-blowing. But the biggest tip I would give all of you guys is to really stay focused and always have that end goal in mind. And here is the very pro tip, a very important advice that I wish I knew during my training. When you guys get your private pilot license, try to find airlines that have a pathway program. That's when you can sign up and you're in their cadet program, and when you're getting all your other license, you start building seniority. I previously made a video about the SkyWest Pathway program that you can watch right here. I'll link it down so you can watch that. But once you get your private pilot license, start looking for airlines that have pathway programs that you can start joining and gaining seniority. When you get to the airlines, you're gonna have all this seniority built up, and that's gonna be really helpful when you go through airline training. That is one thing that I wish I did. However, I signed up to this pathway program a little bit too late. I signed up when I was already an instructor. Imagine all that seniority built up when I go to the airlines. So to become an airline pilot, it's not that difficult. It's a really straight path. If you break it down into small chunks, it's a lot more manageable and doable. If you guys have any questions about becoming an airline pilot at all, be sure to leave it in the comments down below, or you can reach me at MichaelHSU95 on Instagram. Please follow me on Instagram. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I previously had to go through this experience, so if I can do it, I know all of you guys can do it. If you guys have any questions, be sure to leave it down in the comments below. Like I said, this is a safe space, a community for everyone that wanna become pilots, aspiring pilots. And if I can do it, I know you can do it. That's gonna be it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you, and bye.